It started as an ordinary afternoon. I was folding laundry in the living room when I heard the sharp slam of a front door across the street. For months, that house had been almost lifeless. Its owners kind but distant, their routines predictable, their windows closed more often than not. Since their only son had gone off to college, it felt like the house itself had exhaled and gone still. But that day was different. Something in the air had shifted. Through the window, I saw him. Taller now, shoulders broader. The awkward edges of boyhood replaced by something steadier. He paused on the porch, taking in his surroundings as if the world he'd left behind no longer fit him. The sight caught me off guard. He had left as a child. He'd come back as someone changed. Later, as I tended to the garden, the crunch of gravel made me glance up. There he was again. That familiar face, older, yet unmistakably the same. His smile was genuine, his tone easy, like time hadn't passed at all. We talked for a moment, polite, unassuming. Still, I noticed the way he spoke, slower, deliberate, with a kind of quiet thoughtfulness that didn't belong to the carefree summers of before. From that afternoon on, he began stopping by more often. At first, it was to lend a hand, carrying boxes, trimming branches, helping where he could. But slowly, the visits grew into conversations. The kind that stretch longer than they're meant to. The kind that leave behind echoes. He spoke about the loneliness of campus life, the distance between who he was and who he was expected to be. I listened, offering small words of comfort when I could. Perhaps it was the age gap that made him speak so openly, or perhaps it was something simpler, the relief of being heard without judgment. Over time, our porch became a quiet meeting place where unspoken emotions filled the pauses between words. Then one evening, just before the sky faded into twilight, he said something that stayed with me. "I used to wonder what it would have been like if you'd been my mother." The words were soft, almost lost in the sound of crickets. My heart caught in my throat. I smiled awkwardly, unsure how to respond, but he quickly added, "You just listen. You make people feel safe." That sentence lingered in my mind long after he left, not because of the words themselves, but because of the truth buried inside them. Safe. It had been years since anyone had said that about me. My own son lived far away, chasing his life across cities and time zones. Our calls were polite, short, and practical. The house, once filled with noise, had grown too quiet. Maybe that's why the boy across the street felt like sunlight returning to a forgotten room. Then, one phone call changed everything. My ex-husband, gone, suddenly, without warning. The news hollowed me. That night, I sat on the porch alone, the world around me spinning in silence. When I looked up, he was there again, standing by the gate, uncertain but present. He didn't say a word, just walked over and sat beside me. "I'm sorry," he whispered, and for the first time in years, I let myself cry. There was no comfort in his words, only in the quiet company he offered. The way grief is sometimes easier when it doesn't have to explain itself. In the days that followed, something between us changed. Not in form, but in understanding. He had seen a part of me I kept hidden. The fragile, unfinished part that loss always leaves behind. And I had seen him not as a child returning home, but as someone searching for belonging in a world that often felt unkind. As summer neared its end, he came by one final time before leaving for school. His expression was steady, but his voice carried that familiar trace of hesitation. "This summer meant more to me than I can explain," he said. "Can I write to you sometimes?" I smiled, brushing a speck of dust from his sleeve. "Of course," I said. When he drove away, I stood by the window, watching until the car disappeared around the corner. The road shimmered beneath the heat, the air still, almost sacred. That summer had reminded me of something I'd forgotten. That healing doesn't always arrive as grand gestures or second chances. Sometimes, it comes quietly, through the presence of someone who simply listens. It wasn't love, not the kind that people mistake for it. It was recognition, the meeting of two lonely hearts, each searching for meaning in the echo of their own silence. And as the season faded, I realized the truth that had been waiting all along. Some people enter your life not to stay, but to remind you that you're still capable of feeling, still capable of hope. And sometimes, that's enough.